What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Picks and Roll DFS. We went 2-0 yesterday, which makes us 20-5 since last week, an absolute heater. The reads have been sharp, the data's been backing us up, and the slips have been cashing. Let's try to keep building that roll with today's free plays. With NFL Week 1 underway, this is the best time to stack free money. Many platforms are running promos right now, like Betr, where you can snag the Patrick Mahomes free square. He only needs one passing yard to cash. That's essentially free bankroll fuel. Take advantage of these promos to stretch your units further without extra risk. Before we dive into the first play, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That way, you don't miss a single pick while we stay hot. Our first play for today is going to be Kamilla Cardoso going lower than 24.5 points plus rebounds. Now, first things first, if we look at the lines, we can see this is an option on PrizePicks at that even fixed rate at that minus 119, Underdog minus 120, but then on a more quote-unquote sharp book, Hard Rock Bet minus 125, which kind of supports our reasoning for this play. You can also see that it's not available a lot of other places, which could also leave us to believe that other books know that this is a solid play and don't want to give you the opportunity there to play it, which is why we want to keep our eyes open for this option. Also, you want to make sure that you're looking at this line and snag it early before these lines do move. Now we can look on the right and see that Indiana is second in rebounds allowed, which is favorable for us in this situation, seeing as we do not want Cardoso to get a lot of rebounds. Also, Indiana is seventh in points allowed, which also is neutral. And keeping in mind, Angel Reese will be playing. Cardoso is a great facilitator. Oftentimes, they play a high-low action with Cardoso passing from the elbow down to Reese for scores, which then eliminates Kamilla's scoring opportunities, helping align with our lower than 24.5 points plus rebounds. If we look at the data on the season, we can see that Cardoso has gone below this line 23 out of 26 times for a 64% rate, averaging just 21.6 points and rebounds a game and a median of 20.5. Additionally, if we look at how Indiana has defended points and rebounds and their other centers lines in the last 4 games, we can see that 3 out of 4 centers have cashed their unders. The only going over would be Tina Charles, who had a great scoring night and went above her line of 21.5 for 27. I would not say that any of these other centers are as prominent scorers as Tina Charles, who will be a Hall of Famer. Therefore, I really like this line of Kamilla Cardoso going below 24.5 points plus rebounds. Again, don't miss that Betr promo. Use code DIME, lock in Mahomes free square, and if you send me your sign-up screenshot at picksandrolldfs@gmail.com, I'll give you a free month in my VIP. Betr's also going to give you a free $10 and up to a $200 bonus on your first deposit. Don't miss the free money. Let's go to pick 2, which is going to be Kelsey Plum higher than 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now, if we look at this line, we can see that FanDuel has a favorite at minus 114. Bet365 has a favorite at minus 120. Underdog, minus 132. Fliff, minus 135. And Sleeper, huge favorite at minus 145. Now, there is some cause for concern or worry when we look at Atlanta's defensive rankings in terms of points allowed, rebounds allowed, and assists, all in the top 2, with being ranked first in points allowed, second in rebounds allowed, and assists allowed. However, it's important to note that when you look at their matchups, we can see that Alicia Gray, their starting point guard, is out, the person who will be defending Kelsey Plum. And with that, it opens the door for Kelsey to score a lot more. That's number one. If Kelsey's going to score a lot more, this line is great. Then, if she does get hot and Atlanta decides to hedge pick and rolls or blitz pick and rolls, that gives other players opportunities like Azra Stevens to hit open threes. If Ricky Jackson, which you see it says is a game time decision, does play, gives her opportunities to open spot up threes as well, then adding to that assist line. Additionally, with Pau guarding Kelsey Plum, Pau is a rookie. Plum is a vet who will take advantage of that, driving to the rim, getting more fouls, shooting more free throws, more easy points for her. Then we could look at some of the data to support this line. We can see in the head-to-head, she's cashed this line 4 out of 5 times for an 80% rate against Atlanta. Now, keep in mind that 3 of these matchups are from last year. Then we would just be looking at 2 games this season where she went well above for 35 and then 28, most recently on September 3rd, in a loss. As we see, she went for 18 points, 3 rebounds, and 7 assists. Then the last 20, we can see that she's gone above this line 13 out of 20 times for a 65% hit rate. Insights show us that Kelsey Plum has exceeded 25.5 points plus rebounds and assists in 10 of her last 13 games on the road, averaging 28.5. Then we can see a good amount of guards, most recent matchups with Atlanta, have cashed their lines. The only one since August 27th that hasn't was Marina Mabry. Everyone else, including Kelsey Plum on the 3rd, have gone above their lines. Now with Alicia Gray out, that adds to the probability of Kelsey Plum going above her line. As always, my reads are coming straight from the data. Shout out to Outlier for making it easy to spot plus EV plays. If you want to dig deeper yourself, check them out. Use my code LOB for a free trial. Our last play for today is going to be Rhyne Howard in the same game, going against the Sparks now, going higher than 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Now with this line, we can see FanDuel also likes it at minus 128. We can see Novig at minus 120, Bet365 at minus 130, and Underdog, one of the only DFS platforms allowing this play, at minus 132. We can also see that since yesterday, this line has been moving. It started off at 26.5, jumped up to 28 because a lot of people believe that Rhyne Howard would go above it, especially after her more recent performance, then dropped it back down to 26.5. Then it went up earlier this morning to 27. Now it's back at 26.5. So keep an eye on this line movement and lock this play in at 26.5 as soon as you can. Now, if we look at her last 20, we can see that she's going above this line 10 out of 20 times for a 50% rate, with her average going below this line at 24.6, but her median at 26.5. We can also see on the year, it's also a 50% hit rate going above this line 15 out of 30 times, averaging 25.93 and a median of 27. Now, with Alicia Gray out, Rhyne Howard does take on more of the facilitator role, bringing the ball up, increasing her usage rate. That helps us out because then that gives her more assist opportunities, increasing that line. She has no problem getting the rebounds, and she's an amazing shooter. So she gets hot, which she has done in her more recent games, as we can see from September 3rd, where she had 19 points. Then she will easily cash this line. Also, 2 games this season, she's gone well above this line for 31 and 28. So an average of 28.4 and a median of 28. Also, including last year's games, she's gone above, or she's cashed this line 4 out of 5 times for an 80% rate. Insights also tell us that Rhyne Howard has exceeded 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists in 10 straight games versus bottom 5 defenses for assists allowed, averaging 31.5 in those games. Now we can see that there is a bit of a zigzag going on in terms of points, rebounds, and assists versus the Sparks, especially for guards. For a while, it seemed like every other game they're cashing this line. Now we can see for this last game, Rhyne Howard's line was at 28.5. It's lower for us at this moment, which then helps us out because she was just under the last time. Where the line is now helps a lot more. Then we can see every other game or every other player cash their line. So within that same game as Rhyne Howard, Jordan Canada cashed. Then the next game, Brittany Sykes didn't, but Skylar did. And then it continues on in a similar fashion. We can also see that the Sparks have some favorable data in terms of their defense versus other teams, in particular with Rhyne Howard being labeled as a guard. Let's see how they look. 11th in points allowed and assists allowed, which is favorable for us. The only spot that does not support our data fully would be the rebounds allowed. But if Rhyne Howard stays hot from 3 like she was in the previous game, this points allowed will be great. And with Alicia Gray being out, more assist opportunities, which also helps us with this 11th ranking for assists allowed, which is why I really like this line at 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. So let's recap today's plays. We have Kamilla Cardoso going lower than 24.5 points plus rebounds. Kelsey Plum going higher than 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Rhyne Howard going higher than 26.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Those are the 3 plays for tonight. If you're telling and like these breakdowns, hit that like button, comment, and subscribe so you'll never miss a free play. And as always, let's build that roll.